Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 3 of 3, the final day of the 2026 Naroditsky Memorial, a tournament bringing together the community of chess from amateurs to the top grandmasters in celebrating the life and legacy, the work, and all of our great feelings around the one and only Daniel Naroditsky. I covered the Rapid tournament, I covered the Blitz tournament. The Rapid went okay. The Blitz went terribly. I lost a ton of rating. And today we have a creator round-robin tournament, including Danny Rensch, of course, from Chess.com. The Botez sisters are playing. Aman Hambleton from the Chess Bra, Sagar, Shah, etc. And I have to tell you, after the last couple days, I really thought I was going to do poorly in this tournament. I was just hoping to beat the Botez sisters, honestly, because they were underdogs, not because I'm, bringing up any old beef. And at the end of this video, I will share some thoughts about Dina and about He Who Must Not Be Named, and so on and so forth, okay? So this is a round robin, so we knew all of our opponents in advance, and I gotta tell you, folks, today, Grandmaster Levy Rosen came to play, all right? Sit back, relax, enjoy these 9 games. I'm very proud of how I played today. We're going to kick things off with my game against Danny Rensch. Danny opened up with e4, and I have played Danny many times, but I found a weakness in his game before this game even started. And that weakness was the 4 knights Sicilian variation. I have actually played this on my channel before, and I have a course on this on Chessly. I know I promote things a lot, by the way. Signed copies are back of the book. I met a bunch of people in Charlotte that told me they have pre-ordered a signed copy, so thank you. And I was signing books and everything, and everybody was very nice. We'll talk a little bit more on that later. But you can try out the 4 Knights course for free, because all my courses, at least you can try for free. And so what Danny plays in this line is Knight b5, but against Bishop c5, I looked at his games, and he doesn't play the cutting-edge line, Bishop f4, Bishop c7. He goes Knight d6 check, which now, after takes and takes, Black has completely equalized because White spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves with the Knight, and now it's gone. And after something like Bishop d3, Queen c7, Black has very nice attacking ideas in all sorts of the positions, but I took way too long here. Danny played a3. My instinct was to just blitz a6 instantly, stop Knight b5, make a getaway for my bishop. I thought for way too long on h5. I mean, it's a normal idea to try to play the knight to g4, but lucky for me, the game got very spicy right away, because after queen b6, which is given a question mark, I just thought, I'm forking Danny's pawns. I thought he actually had to castle. Ignorance is bliss, because after takes and queen b2, I already thought that Danny had messed up the position. Turns out that I had messed up the position, because after something like queen d2, he's actually completely fine, which I didn't expect, because I thought, like, knight e5, I'm taking the bishop, I have bishop, etc. Anyway, he went here, and I went queen e5, and I was like, I think I'm just winning, and I was. And the problem is that I'm constantly threatening the pawn, and if he plays f4, I just go queen d4 check, and I can win his knight. So he went here, and I just hammered home the h-pawn. And this is a really nice Sicilian, the king stands in the middle of the board, but one person has castled and the other hasn't, and you're just launching the pawn down. He can never play f4, and I ended the game with a nice little combo. I'm up a pawn, and I have, like, all of the initiative here. I mean, b6 is a little bit of a slow move, but, I didn't want him to take. And here he played rook b5, and right away I was like, oh my god, I was trying to go there, and and then I was like, wait a minute, I just have knight d4. Nice little brilliancy here, sacrificing the queen, not exactly, but then I would take, and I would be attacking the rook, and he would go rook d1, and honestly, I was just going to play rook c4, rook c3, and rook a3, and I just have 2 pawns up here, very clean position, and I would need to win the endgame, but Danny ended up going here, and after, all of this kind of clashes, I just win. He tried to play a move here. I think he just resigned, actually. I think after rook c3, he just resigned. I'm just up a knight. And to start like this was really fantastic, I played a Sicilian. I mean, I play a bunch of different openings, but it was really nice to win a 4-knight Sicilian. I spotted something I could maybe exploit in Danny's game, and it worked to perfection. And this is the benefit of knowing your opponents in advance. I wasn't just going to show up and kind of wing it. Now, this game was a huge game for me. I'm very happy with this game, and I'm actually going to draw attention to something after this game on a personal level. So Aman Hambleton, very good player, accomplished chess boxer, grandmaster. Also, nice guy. I don't know if that's just because he's Canadian or, but he's a very nice guy. And We played in the Blitz yesterday, and he outplayed me down a pawn and completely embarrassed me. Now, I know that Aman is a London player, and I figured he would play the London, and I also played Eric Rosen a little bit later, and he also is a London player. So, you know, I was like, look, I need something for the London. I'm going to face 2 Londons. I might even face more because the Botez has played the London. So against Aman, I came prepared with this line c5. I actually have a YouTube video. I don't know what it's called because it's probably called something like aggressive against the London or crush the London with this tricky thing, and probably doesn't have that many views because of the algorithm. But there is a line in the London you can play with black where you never develop your knight. And if white plays the bishop before the knight, you can play c takes, e takes, and this ridiculous move pawn to f6. And I have played this in Blitz, and essentially the idea is that you try to play e5, and this is not stupid at all. And if white goes knight f3, which is what Aman played in the game, black has several options. Magnus has played this as well. Black can go g5, which is super aggressive, and then like try to get, you know, trap the bishop. Black can develop the bishop here and here. Very fascinating position. I played bishop g4. And normally here bishop e2 is played, right? And then the game kind of proceeds. And I was expecting bishop e2. Now here, Aman committed the cardinal sin. He spent a minute and 40 seconds on his next move. I couldn't believe it. At the same time, I was really nervous because he's good with low time. He's probably the best scrambler in the whole field, all right? Also probably just overall the best player. I had a feeling when he started thinking that he wasn't going to play bishop e2, which is a very normal move, and he was going to go here, which neuters my idea because it pins me and, you know, threatens to take my knight. And I had already decided that if he plays bishop b5, I was going to take my next few moves very quickly, although I couldn't. Like, I ended up spending, I don't even know how 39 seconds went by on this move. Like, can you imagine sitting on your phone or on the computer and not playing e6? Time flies when you play chess in person. So I played e6, he went h3, and then I think he castled, and I quickly traded my dark squared bishop, and he took, and you'll notice he has 38 seconds, which is crazy. You know, he played c4 pretty quickly, I went knight e7, he went knight c3, and I castled. And he played rook e1, right? He put the rook out on the open file. I could have played several moves here. I opted to attack his bishop, and maybe if he had taken on c6, maybe I would have taken with the pawn, maybe with the queen, maybe with the knight, honestly, I don't really know. But he played c takes d5. And what's funny is, if I had played bishop takes f3 in this position, it would have maybe been okay, actually, because queen f3, knight takes d4 might have been fine. But I don't know, I kind of breezed past this move. And I played a6 expecting bishop takes. And he went here. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to take this at all. I can, or this, I can take on f3. And he has to take with the pawn, because if he takes with the queen, I just go knight takes d4. And I sat there like, am I beating him on Hambleton? And I took, and he took with the g-pawn. And now it's a 50-50 which way you take this back. Actually, taking with the pawn is better. I ended up taking with the knight. And I lost a little bit of my advantage here, but I thought if I ever get my queen to the other side of the board, like, I'll probably checkmate him. So he went knight e4, and I could go back, but I just went for it. Because if he plays knight c5 in this position, he's kind of guaranteed to win my pawn, but I just sort of assumed I would checkmate him. And before you know it, that is exactly what happened. Like, my hands played the game. It wasn't even my brain. Like, I was just gliding on the board, knight f4 and just f5, and the moves just play themselves. I make a rook lift, and in this position, he just resigned because he cannot stop mate. Like, he can move his queen here. It's still mate because I can sack my queen. So he resigned. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, oh my God, I just crushed him on Hambleton. Like, I felt so happy because, you know, the Danny game, I was confident because I was like, you know, I found that weakness. I thought maybe I could get him in a good position. I never expected that it would go this well against Aman, especially after he outplayed me, just totally down a pawn, like completely outplayed me, outscrambled me. And this felt really nice. And I'm just going to draw attention to something. This isn't from a place of ego or pettiness or anything like that. I'm a human being. Ultimately, I'm a content creator. I'm not an athlete, so I'm not one of these people that like stays off social media during events. Man, I opened up Reddit Chess yesterday, and there's just this post. And this post is full of so many mean comments. And I get it, I get it. It's the internet, and what are you doing browsing? And it's like embarrassing, the usual stuff. Oh, somebody gets to a certain follower point. Like, what are they even doing browsing the internet and seeing stuff about? I mean, I browse the internet. I browse Reddit. I'm interested in chess. So I browse Reddit. I keep up with what tournaments are going on and everything. I was just reading this post, and I was like, man, people are so mean. Like, Aman's a better player than me. I don't even know why this deserved a post. Anyway, today there was no post. Which was funny and a little sad. And on a personal level, this is one of the reasons I struggle with over-the-board chess. It's too much pressure. It's so much pressure to play this board game that I love. Yesterday after I struggled in my tournament, I went home, I played chess on my phone. I won like 5 games in a row, just laying on my couch, just relaxed, playing. It's tough, man. And I got to tell you, I really respect all the athletes, all the chess players that are like struggling in these tournaments. Like, Magnus loses 4 in a row. It's the end of the world. The sky is falling. Gukesh winning the world championship. His hand is trembling. When I cover players, even if they're on losing streaks, I never, ever, ever demean them because it's so intense. You have no idea. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. Thought it was a little sad. And I thought I would humanize my playing experience just to say that, like, it's a lot of pressure. And it sucks that when I lose, that's when the hyenas that scour the savannah, they're ready to eat the carcass. Just as hard. It's hard. It's really hard to play over the board. So I'm looking to carry this momentum into a game against John Bartholomew. John Bartholomew is an OG of chess content. John Bartholomew himself should probably do a Road to Grandmaster series. And I wasn't prepared for this game because he's very solid. And I just thought, like, let's get a game. I played, like, the Levitsky attack. I mean, really, it doesn't matter. We had a queen's pawn game. I didn't know how many points John had either, but I was full of confidence. I thought, like, I got some momentum going in this game. I was playing really slowly, though, and something really funny happened in this game. So, in this position, right here, John took my pawn, and I was like, what? I'm forking him. And he reached for his b-pawn. John was going to play b6 or b5 and just hang his knight. Like, he realized. But I sat there like, I'm about to win a third game. He just blundered a fork. So I could tell he was shaken. He went here, and I'm just a pawn up. I'm up a clean pawn. He has doubled f pawns. He has a weak c-pawn, and I'm just going to move my pawn to a7, and I'm just going to win the game. Even though I have 9 seconds, like, he can't do much, right? He went for counterplay on the second rank. I could have maybe played rook d2 here. I could maybe play rook c1 and try to take this pawn. That's the very clean move. And I can kind of see, like, all right, he's going to try to attack my king, but there's nothing here. There's no attack. If he ever plays g5, I can bring my queen back, guard my king. I'm like, I'm going to push this pawn to a7. Like, he can't do anything to me. So I play a5. I got to play fast. g5, play a6, plays g4, bring the queen back, like, and I'm chilling. Now I have 4 seconds, right? So every time I make a move, I gain 2 seconds of bonus time. He has 9 seconds. I have 4 seconds. And I think I pushed my pawn to a7 here, which wasn't the best, but, I'm maintaining that maybe at some point I'll get queen b8 check. When suddenly he gets his knight to e4. I completely forgot about this move. But I didn't think I was losing yet. I still thought I was maybe winning because I have an attack on his king if he plays knight f2. And he went here and I went queen g5 check. And now the board on chess.com is wrong. He went king f8 because otherwise I would have taken with a check. And I gave him a check. The board changed color because it's wrong. I gave him check. He went back. I gave check. He went here. And in this position, after repeating moves, and I was like, should I make the draw? I was like, wait, he doesn't have a threat, right? Because he can only go here. So I'm going to go queen f6. I'm threatening queen h8. I'm threatening knight to g6. How does he defend himself? He defends himself by checkmating me with knight to h3 check, which is a check and opens up queen g2 and this. And I gotta tell you, I felt so stupid. Because when he nearly hung his knight in one move, I mean, I just was like, this is like, let's go, 3-0. And you gotta remember, in the Rapid Tournament, I had just defeated Robert Hess. So, round 2, right? I beat him let's not lose focus. Like, let's win. I mean, you know, this was all normal, but I didn't have to, you know, I didn't have to hang anything. I could have made any move. I could have put my knight somewhere. I could have maybe went rook d2. Like, okay, rook d2, maybe there's some knight e4 business at some point, but I'm taking, like, he would have maybe gone back. You know, even this doesn't even work, right? h5, like, I don't know, queen f4, f3, put the rook on c2. Like, I'm completely winning. Online, I think I win this position. I think in a time scramble. Over the board is totally different, and I managed to blunder mate. Okay, we have 2 out of 3. John has 3 out of 3. Let's go to the 4th round. I'm playing against Dina Belenkaya, right? She plays d4. Before this game, even yesterday when I saw the pairing, I decided I'm going to play this Queen's Gambit Accepted. She might not know it very well. It's kind of a sideline. She knew it very well, and she played very fast. Bishop c4, she played like rook e1, which is one of the best moves. And then she played bishop f1, which is one of the best moves. And, you know, I just went e5. I think you can play rook e8 or d4, but I was playing a bit slowly. You see, I was... And here, I had this moment where I was like, where do I move my knight? I can put it on e7, which is normal. I can also go for this line, e4, take, rook b8, take, rook b7. Or not even rook b7, some other move. But it's like, why would I do that? Then I thought knight b4, because knight b4, I'm threatening to take the knight. And then she can't take with the queen because of this. I have played Dina a lot. She has beaten me, I think, once online. I think we have a score maybe 3-1 or 4-1 online, unless I'm making that up. And over the board, it must be something like 10-1. Maybe like 7, 8. Not official tournaments, but we've hung out. We play Blitz. I usually do some stupid stuff against her, very classical Soviet style, and I end up winning. So I went knight b4. She went e4. I took, and I was like, I have her exactly where I want her. Like, I'm just going to checkmate her. Like, this, come on. So I went knight h5. And then she played a3 and a move that I did not even think was possible, which is f4. And I was like, uh-oh. Because I can't take. And if I take, she's going to take and push this to e5. And I thought, like, whoa. This is really bad. And if I play queen h4, she just goes queen g4. And even though I can win a pawn, she still gets this, and she's completely dominating here. Maybe I should have gone for this in retrospect, but suddenly I was like, yo, my position is, like, terrible. I'm just, like, losing. I don't know what's going on. She played b4, which wasn't the best, but it doesn't really matter. And now I'm like, I have 7 seconds to 2:04 on the clock. She has completely outplayed me. Knight back to me. I don't know. I'm just trying to make moves. I played, like, here, and she blundered queen g5 check, which is just terrible. Like, again, I was getting mated and I had 6 seconds. After I very quickly went g6, I was like, no, I could have went queen g5 and gotten out, but I did this. And she still allowed queen g5, and right here, oh, this is gonna haunt me. This is gonna haunt me. So I have enough experience playing Dina that she's very strong, but she also can give away winning advantages. And I knew she was gonna blunder this. I had a feeling she was going to play queen to g4. She doesn't want to trade queens, but she was going to. And she was going to blunder knight takes e5. If rook e5, queen e5, if queen g4, knight e5, queen g5, knight f3. Maybe she outcalculated me here. I didn't have a chance to talk to her after the game. She's kind of weird. I don't know, she didn't really want to talk to me. But I was setting this up, and I was like, it's going to land. I don't have to calculate anything. I'm going to get back into the game. I'm going to win the game. I never doubted for a second I was going to win. I'm the stronger blitz player. Like, she went here. I went into the sequence. And as I sat there, I was like, oh my God, my knight is trapped. I just stopped my calculation. I was like, I tricked her. What I should have done is I should have just traded the queens and played bishop d4, and that's it. I'm winning the pawn back. Not only that, like, it's very easy to lose from here with white because you're just going to lose the pawn. But I had prepared because I had low time. I prepared, and this is how chess works. And I'm sitting there like, and she just went here. And I still tried. I tried a little bit. Maybe I could have played knight h, and I could have probably defended this a little better. I was defending. I was really, and she was getting more and more nervous, but as nervous as she was, there was no way for me to make a comeback here. I tried and tried and tried, and, I got a little close, like maybe somewhere here I could have, but she won my pawn, and I have to tell you, she played a really, really nice game. And it sucks because now I know I'm gonna get farmed for content. That's the toughest thing about getting invited to a creator tournament. It's the same way like yesterday when I played Tushi. I was like, I can't lose this game, bro. I can't. I can lose to GMs. I can't lose to these people. It just can't, you know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for the title and the thumbnail. And I have to tell you guys, after I lost this game and this game, I thought that was the end of the tournament. I mean, I really thought like, all right, time to tilt. Because you start 2-0, you win an amazing game, you blunder mate in 2, and then you lose to, a player that in the beginning of the tournament, like, it's not a disrespect to her, there was some people in the tournament I thought I should win against. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to lose the rest of my games. In the next round, I'm playing Alexandra Botez, who, luckily for me, also not a lot of over-the-board experience recently, and I managed to get a really nice attacking game, and yeah, she clearly was uncomfortable in the opening. She got herself in just a totally lost position. Like I played the Trumpowski, by the way. If you're looking to beat a 2100 rated player with an opening, even this game wasn't smooth sailing, by the way. I got a completely winning position, and then I'm going to show you all something very funny. We shuffled. I tried to play fast. I tried to not tilt. And lo and behold, I managed in this position to get my own queen trapped. So, obviously the brain was not working. Tilt was in full effect. I sacrificed my knight to save my queen, so now my queen is coming here. And even though for this moment I'm down a bishop, it's like impossible for black to make a move here, because after take, knight e6, it's immediately a fork, and I'm also threatening to take and play knight e6. And she has piece and I have 2 pawns. But she lost on time in this position. She only had 5 seconds, and she was looking for a move, and the move is knight to d8. Attacking my queen and also covering that square so I cannot put my knight there. But luckily for me, she lost on time. She also played rook f6 and actually let go. So she went rook f6 and let go of the rook, and that blunders a rook. And then she put it back on f8 to make another move. And I kind of looked like, wait a minute. But then she lost on time. Had she managed to play this move and not lose on time, I would have probably had to go to the arbiter and be like, wait a minute, she let go. Because sometimes when you play for fun, it's clock move. When you press the clock, that's the move. When you let go of a piece in almost all chess tournaments, that's it. When she went here, I was like, oh, she hung a rook. So we barely won this game. We had a lunch break, and I come back, and I'm playing Eric Rosen. Now, this is another very important game for me, because along with Aman Hambleton and Eric Rosen, like, these are guys I've played a lot. I have respect for them. They've beaten me many times. I've beaten them many times. I've beaten Eric Rosen more times than he's beaten me. But in competition, he has a much better nervous system than me. He holds it together much better. He also had a really good blitz. And so I prepared a variation this morning while sitting on my laptop. I prepared c5, the same thing that I played against Aman, but instead Eric went here, and I went knight f6, and there is this very sharp line, and here, instead of winning my pawn back, I went knight d7, which actually Eric told me after the game he plays himself. That's always very unpleasant. So queen d5, I won his pawn back, bishop e7, and this position has hardly ever been reached, but I was looking at it earlier today and was like, this is really nice for black. And I think you're supposed to play bishop e2 in castle, but Eric went here, and right away I was like, hold on a second there. b5's a real problem here, because bishop takes, there's queen a5. So now he lost the tempo, and here I came up with a really nice plan. And the plan is f6. And this is a huge problem for white, because e5 is going to wall out that bishop forever, and that bishop will not participate in the game again, and then I can just develop the rest of my pieces. And he just kind of castled, because to be honest with you, nobody really thinks of the move e5 as anything particularly threatening, but after 14 moves, I just have a better position and a time advantage. And this was such a huge thing for me, but also Eric is very resilient. When he gets a losing position, he tends to not resign, and he, goes for his typical stalemate trap, but also, I have a problem with putting games away when I'm winning. For whatever reason, I start getting, self-doubt, and this move, I was looking at it like, that move looks like a bluff. So I took the pawn, and just simply blocked his bishop. And when he went knight d2, I was like, is he bluffing? Can I take the entire queenside? And I played confident, 128 to 56. I was determined. I was locked in at this point. I felt it, I felt the energy. Whereas sometimes I wasn't feeling that energy on the first day of Blitz or some of the rapid games. I was like, queen b2. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not letting this MFer, kids don't ask your parents what that means, I'm not letting him get away. Like, I'm playing queen b2, and he's not that. He's a very, very nice guy. But when you're playing competitive, like, you gotta, Eric has, outplayed me so many times in important tournaments. I'm like, I gotta win this game. So we traded. He went rook a4. I'm up 2 pawns. I'm like, okay, how do we simplify this? Eric can be prone to blundering little tactics here and there. And right here, I put my knight on d4. Rook takes, pawn takes. If he takes, I have queen d2. Rook c7 threatens mate. It looks like I'm getting mated. Take, queen e7. Queen d2. I thought maybe he would blunder this, but I have queen d1 followed by queen g4. And once I saw that stopping mate, I was like, let's go for it. And he went knight e2. He lost his rook. And now I need to not get mated. I need to promote my pawn. He got his knight in the game, but I held everything together. And then here I went a3. He couldn't do anything here. He went queen c6. I brought my queen back, a2, and then I sacked my queen, promoted a new queen, and just bunkered up, made sure not to blunder anything. And at some point, I was going to make a break with my pawns. There it was. I forced the trade, and I managed to win this game by checkmate in the center of the board. I felt so happy to win this game. So happy, because Eric at this point had 4 out of 5. He was playing very well. He only lost to John Bartholomew, who had 5 out of 5 now, but I was very happy to win this one. So now I have 4 out of 6, back on a 2-game winning streak. And now I have to end with Julian Song, Andrea Botez, and Sagar Shah. And, I'm ending the tournament against players where I'm the favorite. I am the favorite in Blitz against Julian, and I am the favorite in Blitz against Sagar. So I have to win out, right? Meanwhile, John Bartholomew's winning every single game. So next game, I sit down, I'm playing Julian. And, we just had this match in the beginning of the year in Madrid, and I play a Trempowski, and rather than, me getting an attacking game, he employs a positional line. He employs something a little bit more solid, and we have a very weird opening where we're kind of maneuvering pieces. I win the bishop pair. It looks like here I can win a pawn with queen d5 because of the pin, but then he plays bishop h2. Look, long story short, I knew... And I was hoping that in the event of a time scramble from this position, I likely was the favorite. I feel like I had an advantage throughout this game. But Julian managed to make a little comeback, and right here I set a little trap. I had a feeling he was trying to go here, and so I launched an attack on him, and I know he's uncomfortable being attacked after playing him for like 20 games. So I figured instead of allowing me to play h4 and something like this, he would try to get something back immediately, and this blunders just a very nice reshuffling, bishop e4 and rook d2, and black is just like losing. It's actually kind of crazy. He gets out like this, but ultimately I'm just going to be pressuring him for a while, and after this, I think my rooks and my bishops are too strong. I have a queenside majority. 4 seconds to 15 though. But I had a feeling that, in a scramble, I was the favorite here against Julian, and I just had to not blunder anything, and I was really focused. I really didn't want to make a blunder. He went knight d7. I piled on here. I thought maybe he would have to go knight c5, but he just can't. He's just lost now. I mean, his position is just too passive, and he's prone to that in time trouble, to getting a little bit too passive. Ultimately here, I went rook d6. He won a pawn, but he can't escape. And I ended up doing this. And I won this game in kind of a funny way. Rook d7 is the move I played, and he gave me a couple checks. But this is very funny. I play rook d8 check, and then his king just can't get out of this box. So my bishop is permanently covering this, and then my bishop is going to participate in the endgame. Watch this. It's going to participate in the endgame. Oh, this is where it cut off. Oh, this is really funny. So this is not where the game ended. He went a3, and we played this endgame, which is completely winning for white, because ultimately what happens is, something like this, or, and then the bishop helps my pawn promote. So what happened ultimately in the game is that after something like, I don't know, let's just say king back to g6, f5. F5 is actually not what I played, because that allows king g5. Long story short, I ended up with a pawn, and he had a pawn, and I won his pawn on the diagonal and covered the checkmate square. So my bishop was both a defender and an offensive piece, and I managed to win. Once I won this game, my next round was against my toughest test of the tournament, Andrea Botez. And obviously I was afraid of her because I thought she would punch me. Ultimately, this is a really tough field to put Andrea in, I have to say. It's like putting Hikaru amongst the IMs, really. Like, she played very well in this game. She actually started the exact same way as Donald did my last round of the Blitz. But ultimately, she played a little bit too passively here, and I got some nice attacking possibilities. She blundered a pawn, and I just kind of kept the pressure, and she never got her attack going. I broke through on the queen side, and she ended up losing on time in this position, but it's already very, very bad. You know, these two things are hanging, and I have a lot of different sacrificial ideas. It was a nice maneuvering game, but okay, I'm a big favorite here, and I think Andrea ended with half, but it was a very, very tough field. I can't even say anything. It's like you put me with the candidates. Like, it was a very, very tough tournament. And with that, I went to the last round to play against Sagar Shah. And if I won this game, I would get second place in the event. And I was relatively confident because Sagar wasn't having a great run in the Blitz. He struggled a lot in the Blitz tournament the day before. But in retrospect, I shouldn't have played the same thing I played against John. I got absolutely nothing in the opening. I just thought, like, we're going to play a game. And play a game we did. Absolutely nothing happened in this game. Here I made a little pawn structure improvement. But overall, Sagar was just keeping, even with me. I had a feeling if we both made it to around 30 seconds and we had to start making decisions, I would outplay him because I'm a little bit stronger in the time scramble, and ultimately, that is sort of what happened. Like, here he surprised me with this move queen d8. I was trying to go c4, but he can always put his knight here, and then he never fought for the square. This transformation, I thought, benefited me as well, and then when he offered me a trade, and I quickly managed to push, and I was getting my knight in, when I got c5 with knight c4 coming, I thought I would win the game in 5 to 10 moves, because you just feel with black like you're losing control. And I really have a nice position with the B and A files, and right away he blundered. This just allows knight c4, and 3 mistakes in a row. Instead of going knight b6, I should have went d5. I don't know why I didn't do that, because if he takes, there's this, and this is a better version than what happens in the game. But instead I have knight b6, takes, and I just don't have to take this. This is a completely winning endgame for white. Like, the best move is probably to take, but it's so hard to do that because I'm going to just put my rook there. I played rook d7, I played queen d2, and here there are just too many ways for white to win. Rook e1 is really nice because I'm threatening rook e8. Like, a5, I'm threatening rook e8, which is amazing. Queen f7 and queen g7. And I had a feeling he would also walk into the other thing that I'm threatening. Anytime you have a rook cutting off a king like this, and only a rook defending, you can sack a queen, king here, and rook mate. And I knew that was going to happen right here because it's such a random tactic. And Sagar went here, and just queen f8. And we end the tournament similar to how Magnus Carlsen ends the 2016 World Championship against Karyakin. Queen sacrifice, and it's made in a few moves, and Sagar resigned. And I ended the tournament with 7 out of 9. 7 out of 9, which was a really nice result after these 2 losses. I thought I was going to tilt off the planet. I was more unhappy to lose this game because it was utterly ridiculous. The Dina game, I just got outplayed. I mean, you can't even be mad. Oh, and fun fact, John Bartholomew ended with 9-0. And Aman Hambleton, who I thought was a pre-tournament favorite, after he lost to me, lost to Julian Song, and lost to John Bartholomew. So it shows you, like, you start well, you finish well, you tilt early, bad things can happen. Aman should not get 5 out of 9 in this field, at least 7, in my opinion. So, not a great result for him, and I think he's a very good player. Bartholomew, just insanely impressive, really. Look at these standings. Andrea finished with half, Alexandra 1.5, they were underdogs. It sucks that Sagar only got 2. Sagar lost like 150 blitz points in 2 days. I mean, it's just so tough. Like, when your life is spreading chess to others and not studying chess, it humbles you so quickly. Nobody in this field is actively studying chess. Maybe Bartholomew, because he's kind of an OG of content creation and he is still doing it, but I feel like not as actively. Danny's like running and selling a company, and all of us are just content creators. You know what I mean? Like, we are and that's why it was called the Creator Invitational. So shout out to everybody who played. I finished well. I'm very happy with how I ended. Danny, by the way, 6 points is crazy because he doesn't play chess very often or study it at all. So that honestly is a very solid result. I gained back a little bit of rating. And I said at the beginning of the video, I would share some thoughts about Daniel. Everything positive that has been said has been said. You know, it was great of Peter Janatos and everybody at the Charlotte, chess center, the surrounding areas, all the people involved with the club and now the foundation. A ton of work went into this, really. Like, this was a tournament beautifully organized. Beautifully. No rounds were delayed. There were no incidents. There was great in and out, traffic with spectators and with players and with VIPs. You can't just allow like all the players. I saw Hikaru walk into a room at some point and like a kid nearly fainted that he saw Hikaru. So that was all like really well organized. They deserve a ton of credit. Shout out to everybody who has contributed to the Naroditsky Fund. They raised over $1 million and they announced a fellowship. Charlotte is going to give out $50,000 worth of scholarships to chess players and hopefully even more in the coming years. And FIDE announced that forever their creator award will be named the Naroditsky Award. Chess.com has named the Speed Chess Championship Award the Daniel Naroditsky Award. And, it's been 9 months and it still doesn't feel real. I talked about Reddit earlier and how, I thought it was a bit rash that thread went up about me. I mean, there's a million threads that go up about me. But Reddit also, I saw a post recently about people who still can't come to terms with this tragic loss of somebody who was so, beloved and cherished by so many. We all feel the same way. You know what I mean? It was really nice to come together for 3 days. The community, effect was really powerful. And at the same time, at the start of the tournament, you can check the news, you could check social media. The FIDE Ethics Commission issued a decision which, summarizing, Kramnik is suspended for, I think, 2 years with a 12-month probationary period. He cannot play in tournaments and he cannot be involved in tournaments, which I think means he cannot coach anybody. He was the coach of the Uzbekistan team at the last Olympiad. He was there in public coaching them, which on a personal level, I struggle to come to terms with people who still want such a coach given everything that's happened. But that's, like there are people who firmly believe in things like separate the art from the artist and like, well, we're just going to focus on the fact that he's a good coach. But that's not really the point of this. The point is, this is about Dania. There was a lot of, discourse again on social media. Should he have been banned for life? Should they have taken his grandmaster title? Too little, too late. The truth is, over the last 9 months, that echo chamber of him and everybody who, whether they actually believe what he says or just kind of egg him on because that's the way the internet works, that has been buried in such a faraway corner of chess discourse and online presence. And it's about damn time that happened. The reason no one's making videos about it is it's done. Like the topic of him, the topic of his public crusades against people, it's gone. It's gone. Like nobody touches that. Nobody takes it seriously, even remotely. No meaningful percentage of people. It's gone. All right. And honestly, in many ways, that's how it should be, because that is the most powerful weapon in all of this. Not constantly making public responses and beef and videos. Insignificance is by far the biggest punishment for a person who should go down in history as a top 5, maybe top 10 player. But given the past few years, I think this is a massive, blemish on something like that. And the rest of us who will continue to honor the life and legacy of a person like Daniel Naroditsky, we will spread as much positivity as we can ultimately into the world. Because that's all we can do. We are here, we have one life, and evidently you really just never know when it will be cut short. And this was a special few days, and I'm not going to sit around and say what should have been done, what could have been done, because ultimately it's, here we are. The reality is now. And Daniel was a genius. He was an exceptional person. He touched the lives of many, many people. And this was a nice way to honor him this weekend. So I'm happy I participated. It was brutal, I have to tell you, on my nerves. It was brutal on my energy. I'm very tired. But I'm glad that we will honor him for as long as I'm here. So, and as long as I think everybody involved with Charlotte is as well. So that's all. That's all I wanted to say. And see you in the next video. Get out of here.